Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 14 of season 3 of the F1 2021 My Team Career mode. No, it's not the My Team Career mode, it's the Williams Road to Glory. I'm nearly 60 episodes in and I've finally got that wrong. But yeah, we're back though today, ready for the race at the Circuit of the Americas, round 14 of 16 here, just 3 races to go of this championship. Of course, if you missed out on the last video that went live a couple of days ago from Japan, I would highly recommend going back and checking out another fantastic race. You know, just the way this championship is sort of building up to the season finale as well is getting very interesting. But yeah, of course, there will be spoilers for that video in just a moment. But quickly though, a massive thank you to all of you guys as well. You know, at the time of recording, 55,000 subscribers ticked off. That's done and dusted. We're pretty close now to 56,000 subscribers. You know, if you're not already, please do make sure you get yourself subscribed to the channel as well. You know, help us get one step closer to 60,000 then. But having a look at the Drivers' World Championship, 3 races to go. The gap at the top up to 23 points between myself and Max Verstappen there. Hamilton now nestled between the Red Bulls, just a further 10 points back there, and Checo Perez on 174, so 41 away for the Mexican driver there. But yeah, 3 races to go. Does mean it is officially a 3-car battle. We could knock Checo and Hamilton out of championship contention this weekend if we had a good result and they had a bad one. But we'll have to wait and see about that. Verstappen, though, trying to hang on in there. But COTA is often a very much a Red Bull track. I think Mexico as well is definitely a track that they should be strong at. Constructors-wise, though, Mercedes now 9 points clear of ourselves as there's 21 points covering McLaren, Ferrari and AlphaTauri a little bit further back there by virtue of Pierre Gasly's shock win at the Japanese Grand Prix last time round. He just was comfortable all weekend long there. Maybe we'll see a repeat of that here at COTA as well. But yeah, the US Grand Prix though just ahead of us. 3 races to go with the season. Let's try and put ourselves in good stead for the championship. Let's get into qualifying. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022 and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, the choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like. Well, we're in the Americas then for the final 3 races of the season here, from the series even, I should say, in the Williams Road to Glory. And can we try and bring home a first World Championship in nearly 25 years for Williams? 1997, of course, was the last time they won in Formula 1. But yeah, still got 3 races to navigate and only a 23-point gap between ourselves and Max Verstappen. And the Dutchman, I think, especially after the contact last weekend, is going to be very hungry here. Spent a little bit of time just tweaking the setup in free practice as well. You know, I often just transfer him over between the My Team and the Williams car, but can't help but feel at the moment just needing a little bit more downforce on this car there, just so we can try and hang on a little bit closer through the corners. I mean, top-end speed, just every car that you drive on F1 2021 seems to have the edge over the AI there. It's just a bit of a weird thing. But Sainz goes fastest immediately onto a 31.7. Let's see how close we can get to that, as these cars still a long way off the My Team cars. Verstappen smashes that out of the water, 31 flat. Oh, there we go. Hamilton always loves the Circuit of the Americas as well. They're 30.7, so we're already gone a second clear of Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari. Round in the final couple of corners we go, though. Really difficult to spot the turn-in point for that penultimate corner there. Sun blaring in your face through the final turn. But try and put the power down up towards the line. 30.8, okay. That was pretty good. Purple Sector 2 and Sector 3. They're only a 10th away from Hamilton. And immediately quicker than Max. I'll have that. Well, I did bring the front wing up yet another click. Ready for qualifying. And you can see Russell even as well. Actually doing quite a good job there. Just 2 places behind us. So nice to see our teammate finding a little bit of pace once more here at COTA. But yeah, we've now got a pretty clear track in front of us. No one else actually on the circuit at the moment, so I think everyone else is waiting to do their final runs as we really spot the apex through turn 1 there. That's another 10th immediately found just by getting that slightly better line there. Not being more aggressive or anything like that. Just spotting the car. You really can't overdrive this car like we've done so much with the My Team car there. You kind of got to drive with this thing, as that was a lot of curb. And unfortunately, he's going to upset the rear end. Oh, through the rest of the S's there. We were about 3/10 up, I think I saw at one point. But that gap slowly diminishes back to just 1/10 of a second by the time we get down to the hairpin. Trying to use 4th gear on the exit so you can avoid the wheel spin and really power out down the back straightaway here. I always forget just how much sort of up and down you do along this straight, and obviously, of course, how much it just slowly arcs to the right-hand side as well here. But 10th.5 up at the moment as we brake just before 150-metre board there. A little bit too early on the anchors, but allows us to get on the loud pedal just that little bit earlier as well, as now navigating our way through the S's again. Just throwing away a little bit of time here and there, but trying to recover it on corner exit. That is not the line as we head now through the Turkey section to finish off my second run. Trying to keep it tidy, get on the throttle as early as you can there. Fling the car back over to the right hand side before you tip it in for the left. A little bit wide there, but we get away with it through the final corner. Way too much curb on the way, and that's going to compromise our exit. It's another 10th found, and that's the difference between P5 and back on the front row. Okay, we'll have that, thank you. Well, 30 seconds left on the clock then here from qualifying. Are we going to see any more improvements come in late on in the session, or are we going to see Bottas on for his second pole position in a row here? Trying to get a nice run at the final corner there. Use the DRS as we head over the start-finish line, and now we head back up towards Turn 1. Always looks super daunting on F1 2021, but again, we've got to not overdrive the car there. Take a lot of curb through Turn 1 that time round. You can just see nowhere near as brave through that first corner that time round. A 10th.5 down. Tip it in though through the S's, just nice and tidily over the curbing. Get the car, took way too much curb there. Had to double correct on the exit as we head up the hill. Oh, a big snap of oversteer there as well. We are really trying to lean on this car now as we plummet down the other side of the hill there. Get on the anchors just after the 100-metre ball there. Don't quite meet the apex that time around, but it shouldn't cost us much as we get a really nice run out onto the back straightaway. It's still game on as we head in towards the final sector of the lap here. We just need to absolutely nail it. I think sweat mode is going to have to be engaged here as we head into sector 3. A little bit later on the brakes that time round. We just get over the curbing on the exit, but we're still purple in the middle sector here. Don't let this lap get away from me. You can just see really trying to rotate the car through on the rear end there. Do not hit the apex through the tricky double left-hander. And now through the Turkey section we go. Oh, way too wide there. That might cost us. That might be the difference between P2 and pole there. Really attacked the curbs through the penultimate corner there. Got away with that one. It's through the final turn. Are we actually even going to improve here? No, we're not. It's only P2. Bottas, fair play, cracking lap from the Finn. Can he convert this one into a race victory? I mean, look at that. Valtteri Bottas on pole, but between myself and Pierre Gasly, 4 cars, 1/10 of a second there. Verstappen, I'm sure, gutted to be starting down in P6. The last couple of races, he's been a really woeful qualifier here. Charles Leclerc, though, just ahead of our teammate George Russell, who nestles himself between the Ferraris. Could desperately do with a few points from him this weekend. And then McLaren is 10th and 11th here. These are critical races in a Formula 1 World Championship. Fingers crossed today we can just outscore Verstappen again, keep up in that gap slightly. But rain might be on the way. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
Here we are then in one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, the fabulous Austin, in the great state of Texas. The circuit itself 14 miles southeast of the city centre and home to the US Grand Prix since 2012. The latest in a long list of iconic tracks to have that honour. We have 10 turns to the left and 10 to the right here at the fantastic Circuit of the Americas. Overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and 12 at this anti-clockwise 3.6 mile track. And we should see average lap speeds of around 126 miles per hour. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and Mr. Monaco completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Perez, Gasly, Max Verstappen and Leclerc, Russell, Norris, Raikkonen and Lance Stroll, Hamilton, Joe, Antonio Giovinazzi and Sainz. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Mazepin, Ricciardo, Yuki Tsunoda. They've taken a grid penalty, and Esteban Ocon, Latifi and Mick Schumacher. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
We're in good position for the Constructors' title. There are 3 races left, so we need some good results.
Not too sure how Jeff's worked out we're good for the Constructors' title, because we are still a long way behind Red Bull. We would need a miracle to try and close up that gap before the end of the year. But P2 on the grid then. What is that for weather here at COTA? It's meant to be a dry to wet to dry Grand Prix here today, so really anything could happen in this one. Team absolutely do not believe the soft to medium tyre strategy is going to be viable, but I mean, if we're going to have to use a set of inters at some point during the race, who knows what could happen here today at COTA. 3 races to go, 23 points the gap in the championship. Let's dive into it then here from the US Grand Prix. Verstappen a few places back, 5 red lights for the US Grand Prix, and it is going to be lights out, and away we go. And actually, neither Bottas or myself getting the best getaway there, as Sergio Perez going to try and look round the outside in towards the first corner there. Bottas does not meet the apex, but we get a bit boxed in there and get a bit overzealous on the throttle on the exit there as we head down through turn 2 and turn 3 there. Looks like Verstappen has dropped backwards as well, though, off the start, so that's absolutely critical outside the top 5 for the Dutchman. Again, of course, the goal today is just trying to outscore him as best as possible, because, I mean, with 2 races to go, if we had a 25-point lead, I mean, it hasn't happened much at all in the Williams Road to Glory, but we keep having engine failures on F1 2021 in the My Team series at the moment. Are we hopefully going to get an idea from the team as when this rain's meant to arrive early on here?
5 minutes until rainfall expected. 5 minutes until rain. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Well, it's looking very much like blue skies around the Austin circuit at the moment, but if the team reckon the rain could be here in just 5 minutes' time, things could get very interesting very quickly here, as I can't even spot where an overcast sort of rain cloud could be coming from towards the venue, but I guess we'll have to wait and see about that one, because that could make things, yeah, very interesting early on here at COTA. But round in the final couple of corners of lap 1, though, Valtteri Bottas done better than he did at Suzuka from the pole there. This time round did hang on to the pole, but I mean, if you've got me alongside you on the front row, there's a fair chance you're going to be able to hold on to that pole position by the time you get up towards turn 1 there. Bottas leads the way at the end of lap 1, but now we've just got to settle down and wait for the rain. Using a bit of battery, though, try and close up the gap to Sergio Perez here. We are gaining on the Mexican. You know what? We're going to try it. No, we're not. Apparently not there. I was a little bit earlier on the brakes than I thought I was, but yeah, I mean, at least nice to see we have got the momentum to attack Checo. Yeah, rain seems to be coming in, though. If it's going to be anywhere, I think, at the moment, from Sector 1, if you have a look when we get back round there, there's quite a big cloud. Sort of, if the mini-map is the right way, sort of north-facing, it's coming from pretty much directly in the east, but we'll have to wait and see as to whether that turns out to be true. As you can just see at the final corner, I promise you I'm not mad. If you have a look behind the pit building, those are the darkest clouds I can see around the venue, and they don't look ominous at the moment, but Perez outside the DRS already of Valtteri Bottas. We got to try and stick within the 1 second mark of Checo. Let's just focus still. There's a long way in this race. All over the back still of Sergio Perez here on lap 4. This time around we've got the DRS to try and assist us here as Checo's going to spot me. Move to the inside there. We're going to try and look round the outside. No, Checo, big lock up and up and under. We go into the corner there and Sergio Perez, I'm sure he will have a telling off after the Grand Prix for making a mistake like that there, when both he and his teammate are still battling it out for the championship. But Bottas just romping away early on here, a bit reminiscent of what Gasly managed to do last weekend at Suzuka. Maybe as all the championship threats are tripping over each other, you know, the likes of Bottas, the likes of Pierre Gasly just want to try and snooker a race victory away wherever they can, and fair play to them, why not? Lap 6 then already. The track now starting to get a whole lot more overcast. So the rain is definitely on the way, but the real question is how bad will it get? Will we have to make the move to Inters? There we go, there's the rain immediately. So, I mean, it's not looking that cloudy around the venue, but the rain is starting to fall then here at Qatar on just lap 6 of the Grand Prix. And now it's going to be a really tough test, because again, on sort of a dampening track, the AI can often have such a big advantage on F1 2021, especially in the Williams RTG, because this car is not particularly great in the slippery conditions. But yeah, we just need to try and keep our head down and focus, as I think this rain's going to get very heavy very quickly, but also then move out quite quickly as well.
For a new strategy option.
They can't already be saying Inters, surely. Nope, they're definitely not just yet. Team want us to box 1 lap earlier, but I think, yeah, if we're going to box, it's probably going to be onto Inters early on, but that's if it gets wet enough.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
Oh, Jeff recommending something new again. They're saying intermediate, so I'm going to stick with that. I think today we have to go with whatever the team thinks there. DRS hasn't been disabled just yet, but I don't think we're too far away from it. As you can see, Bottas's rain light up the road is a clear indicator of just how damp the circuit's getting. But Perez has still got the DRS behind me there, as the track is looking very, very slippery at this stage of the day. But I'm going to follow the team's instructions. I think it's going to be one of those races, as the great Ayrton Senna once said.
Disabled by the stewards. DRS will be offline.
You have to be on the right tyres at the right time at any given occasion, and now DRS has been disabled, so it's a no-brainer. We need to box, as this track immediately getting very, very wet there. Qatar on the F1 games is not a particularly good track for drainage. When water gets on it, it tends to just kind of hang around the venue, as we're all over the road at the moment.
Okay, I think it might be just about time to come and change these tyres.
Oh, running very, very wide, doing the IndyCar line through the final couple of turns, but that's just how little grip we've got then, as we crawl into the pit lane at the end of lap 7. Make sure we get the car slowed down nice and tidily, and Bottas could get held a little bit here in some traffic, and looks like he is going to. So everyone then, of course, into the pit lane there. Verstappen's braved it. Oh, this could be big for the Drivers' Championship here if Verstappen decides to brave it. We need to try and get the car in gear. I think we will re-emerge. Yes, still in P... well, it's going to be net P2 of the Grand Prix. But Perez has dropped back as well there. So again, Red Bull not having the luck in the pit lane, as Bottas and Lance Stroll side by side out of turn 1. And that should be a good indicator of who's got more grip at the moment. And I think that's very clearly Bottas, because Stroll immediately is the gap. I mean, we're all immediately all over the back of the mirror. As you can just see, Lance Stroll trying to crawl his way through this first sector. Around the outside we go of Sir Lance. And the team only reckoning 10 minutes of rain. So we could then make a call onto the medium tyres to see us through to the end of the Grand Prix, depending, of course, how long the track stays slippery. But Verstappen, I mean, the gap, yeah, pretty much down to 10 seconds already. That's been a big, big call by Red Bull, and it doesn't look to have paid off. I mean, look at this as we head through the final couple of corners. Bottas and I are already practically going to have a pit stop over Max Verstappen there. The Dutchman, he's been brave, he's been audacious, and no one really knows what's going to happen to this rain. But the Dutchman into the pits as Bottas and I already starting the next lap there. So Max Verstappen's going to be way out of the points for the second race in a row here. What is happening down at Red Bull? I was actually thinking about it earlier on. I can't remember the last race Max won in this championship. It was definitely before the summer break. It must have been like round 7, round 8 of the year. He didn't win Hungary. He didn't win Silverstone. I'm trying to remember, did he win the race before that? I think it was Le Castellet. It's been a long old time since Verstappen won in this series. He's just been very consistent all year, but it's all falling apart at the moment. Yeah, Verstappen has re-emerged. To be fair, not as far down the order as I thought he would, but I think the other important thing to discuss at the moment is just how much time we're taking out of Bottas. I said the AI are really strong on a track that's getting wetter there, but that only really applies on the dry tyres. Intermediate conditions, I'd like to sort of think we can fight, you know, our corner on F1 2021 against the AI, but Bottas still leads there. The gap down to 1.5 seconds though. First time it's been sub 2 in a long old while, as that is definitely not the line through the S's. One is trying to avoid those big orange curbs, but still just trying to find the time and close up to Valtteri. It's definitely not a have-to-win race, but I would quite happily walk away with the bonus points. It was only meant to be a very short window of rain in this Grand Prix, but we're about 4 laps into it, and there seems to be no sign of it stopping just yet. Track now getting wetter and wetter as the gap between myself and Bottas comes down under the 1 second mark for, yeah, the first time since the start of the Grand Prix. But we're almost halfway through this race here at Capure. It's absolutely flown by so far.
It's not a perfect situation, but I don't think we have cause to move on to a different tyre yet.
No, you're absolutely right, Jeff. I would not be wanting to go onto any other tyres at this stage of the day. But, yeah, very much... Ooh, that's not the line. Ignore that, please. Yeah, at the moment, though, just Bottas and I just pulling away a little bit from the rest of the field. Can't help but feel like Charles Leclerc in that Ferrari might just be hindering Gasly and Perez's progress.
Okay,
but it's so difficult to overtake.
Will be drying out quite soon. Mind you don't burn out your tyres.
Okay, got to be careful of that there, as yeah, we'll definitely be able to move onto a set of the mediums to get us through to the end of the Grand Prix. We've got yellow flags out though. Someone's going slowly here. I think it's an Aston Martin, so nothing too dramatic. I did wonder because Verstappen was in the yellow flag zone. No, it's Zhou Guanyu out of the US Grand Prix there. His first time here at the US Grand Prix, and Zhou Guanyu, the Chinese driver, out, sadly. All over the back of Valtteri Bottas as we head down the back straight here, lap 13, and gaining on the Mercedes, man. Oh, what the inside will go. Can we get it slowed down into the end of the back straight? Nice. Jeff spoke way too soon there because Bottas just sneaks back up the inside on the exit of the corner, but at least we're sort of filling the Finn's mirrors. So I'm going to try and chuck it back to the inside. Oh, Bottas turned in on me. A little bit of contact there, and I reckon Bottas has picked up front wing damage. I definitely didn't feel like that was an overly aggressive move from myself. We haven't got a warning from the FIA or anything like that, but that might put Bottas into the pits with front wing damage. That's not what I wanted. Bottas, yep, he is going to peel in there, so the Finn not spotting me on the inside. And Bottas not known for his wheel-to-wheel action in real-life Formula 1. And I guess that's been repeated today there. It's not how I want to win races in this career mode, but we were definitely close enough, and we made it clear enough early enough, and Bottas just turned in, it felt like. I mean, let me know down in the comments below what your guys' thoughts was on that move, because I'm kind of in the mindset of, I mean, we sent it on Bottas once, he spotted us and snuck it back up the inside. Brilliant little battle there, and we were certainly close enough to try and warrant a second sender. I mean, it's the kind of thing, you know, your Max Verstappen or your Ayrton Senna would certainly try, and I don't think it was too outrageous. I mean, like I said, Bottas has got plenty of time to spot us on the inside, and still decided to turn in. I mean, we ran the risk as well. Of course, sim damage can often get both cars here, but 2 races in a row, we've actually got quite lucky with it, because now, at the moment, we've got a 9-second lead over Charles Leclerc, and Pierre Gasly still just stuck behind him. When is the track going to get dry enough again, though? That's the real question at the moment, as it's definitely the rain has stopped.
The track's drying, the track is drying. Let us know when it's time for slicks.
Okay, so I don't know, Jeff doesn't know. We're going to be on Inters to the end, apparently. I reckon, though, at the end of lap 16, the time is now to come in for a fresh set of the soft compound tyres here. Just therefore, I mean, I'm a bit worried we'll get undercut otherwise, because I feel like the team are going to say it, probably when we get back round towards turn 1. So we're going to peel into the pit lane then at the end of lap 16. It's a little bit of gamble coming in early, but we'll have to wait and see as we get towards the checkered flag here. I'm hoping now we see that DRS sign once again there. But Charles Leclerc then is going to inherit the lead of the Grand Prix here as we head down the pit lane. Why are the team putting on softs?
complete. Go now.
We definitely cannot make it to the end on a set of soft compound tyres here. What are the team doing? DRS has been enabled though. That's a good sign. So we have practically nailed the timing then of the pit lane, as well as George Russell, who's boxed in just behind us. But we're going to have to pit once more here in the US Grand Prix. So we need to try and romp back up towards the front of the field here, because effectively now we're in a net P5 of the GP. Because of course we're going to have to pit once more. And so is, you know, the likes of Charles Leclerc, yeah, Gasly, Sergio Perez and Lando Norris just in front of us here. But yeah, the pace differential not as big as it was the other way.
DRS is now online.
DRS now enabled there, but I mean, yeah, Russell, Hamilton, they've both gone softs as well. So are they going to try and get to the end? Surely not. 12 laps on a set of soft tyres, even with the wet conditions here, is not going to be doable. I don't really want to try and risk getting a puncture either late on in the afternoon. We have just got to get our head down, try and get back up towards the lead. Well, I mean, we will definitely be in the lead. Oh, big lock up there as well, as it's not easy still. But then we're going to have to pit again before the end.
All of our tyre pressure data is reading 0 at the moment.
Yeah, that's fun.
Assuming they still look inflated to you, we're going to guess it's just a bad sensor. Shouldn't be anything to worry about.
So why tell me then if it's nothing to worry about? Just get on and fix it, Jeff. Anyway, end of lap 17. We're going to see everyone else peel into the pit lane. Here is Lando Norris, a lot slower on those intermediate tyres. But what tyres are all these guys going to go on to then? So I thought about a move up the inside of Lando, but realised very quickly that would be a bad idea. If they go on to softs, we've still got a good chance. Otherwise, we might be a little bit screwed.
2.2 seconds.
Let's just wait and see then. So Leclerc's gone soft. Everyone else looks to be going softs as well. And can they take them all to the end? I really don't know what's happening at this stage of the Grand Prix. I'm definitely not. We're going to have to pit around sort of lap 22, lap 23 to see us through to the checkered flag. But, I mean, 10 laps isn't going to be impossible. I just don't really want to risk it here. I mean, we should be quite far up the road. It is just going to make things tight at the end. But we've effectively now got 11 qualifying laps to see us through to the end of the US Grand Prix. What worries me as well at the moment is the fact Charles Leclerc, now we're back in dry conditions, is actually taking time out of me at the moment. We're pushing like crazy on this set of tyres, but the gap's actually come down about half a second since he exited out of the pit lane here, and you can just see little lockups as well at the end of the back straight. We've got to just keep our head down and focus here. Got to pray this race comes back to me, because at the moment we are starting to struggle.
It looks like we might have an issue. Hang in there.
Don't.
We're attempting to manage it.
Honestly, I cannot handle any more engine failures on F1 2021. We've had so many recently in the My Team career mode. If we get one now in the Williams RTG as well, I think the wheel is about to go out the window. It's right in the final corner. Just wait until we get confirmation from the team. We had a couple of bogey ones in this series, but the engine hasn't gone up just yet here.
Okay, looks like a mechanical failure. We're going to have to ask you to find a safe spot to retire. Sorry about that. What happened? Let me know you're okay.
I had to do that out of rage. To be honest, I'm sure the team would not be happy at the engine going bang as I throw it at a wall at 130 miles an hour. Oh, I'm so done. I'm so done. F1 2022, please come out. I mean, if we get an engine failure in Abu Dhabi in the My Team series that throws away the championship, this game, I think, is genuinely trying to make me lose at the moment. What more can I do? It's also ruining the videos as well. I apologise to everyone. You know, I have no control over these engine failures, and it's happened, what, 4 times now in the last week?
A truly magnificent drive and a great performance from the entire team to secure the win here in Austin. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, they certainly stood out as a drive with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
As we await the winners to take their positions on the podium, one thing is clear. AlphaTauri have really shown their prowess on the track. This is a team that isn't afraid to take risks, whether that's on the circuit or in the new talent they hire. Today, those risks certainly paid off. That lead at the top of the table has shrunk somewhat today. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Well, for me, it's got to be Lewis Hamilton. The multiple world champion may be the boring choice at this point, but you can't argue that he's a driver deserving of his reputation.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull pull further ahead in the standings. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
I honestly don't know what more I can do on this game at the moment. 2 races to go of the My Team career mode there. I mean, Perez and Hamilton have done exactly what they needed to this weekend, and they both have outscored myself and Max Verstappen here. Gasly, out of nowhere, gets a second race victory in a row. I mean, he can't be a championship threat, but he could really try and sort of get in the way of Valtteri Bottas towards the end of the year there. The Finn, unfortunately, having to 3-stop. But yeah, Gasly takes the win ahead of Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez there. Lando Norris P4 and Hamilton P5 there. Means 5 cars from 5 different teams make up the top 5 at the end of the Grand Prix there. Verstappen 6th ahead of Bottas, Russell, Sainz and Kimi Raikkonen, rounding out the top 10 there. And you can see somehow we got classified 9 laps down at the checkered flag there, so not too sure how we managed that one. But it does mean championship-wise, again, heading in towards the final 2 races of the year, Sergio Perez, Hamilton, both still a little way away, but they're not out of this just yet, especially if we're going to get more bad luck with reliability there. Pierre Gasly has practically scored half his career, well, half his season points, sorry, in the last 2 races of this championship. But 2 races to go, 26 points separating the top 4. If Hamilton and Perez just outscore me next weekend and Max Verstappen holds pretty much level, we could head into Brazil with a 4-way title fight on the line here. No other movers though, except for Tsunoda jumping Lance Stroll way down the order, and I think that means no, Haas aren't last still in the championship. Aston Martin, I mean Alfa Romeo, Aston Martin, Haas and Alpine, 4 points separating those 4 teams. I mean, really, yeah. I mean, there's what, 6 points separating McLaren, Ferrari and AlphaTauri heading into the final 2 races. Pretty much everyone but Red Bull, with a good result here, could still outscore another team and get some big money in the pot. But thank you all so much for watching this video nonetheless. I really hope the last 3 races on this game we don't get any more engine failures, but we will return very soon with more of the F1 2021 Williams Road to Glory. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.